I tried to find the positive stories, guys. It's gonna be a little rough this week. It's This Week in Rideshare News. All I have to say is this can happen to you too, guys. A 24-year-old man is recovering from injuries from his face after entering what he thought was his Uber ride. 3 women from Milwaukee, Wisconsin are accused of beating and robbing a man who thought he was getting into his rideshare vehicle last week in Lincoln Park. Lucky for him, the police officers actually witnessed the women beating him and then pushing him out of the vehicle. Another police officer was able to apprehend the women. The 3 of them are charged with felony counts of robbery and aggravated battery causing bodily harm. Do not think that this is just a woman's issue. Safety is a concern for everyone, so always confirm your license number and ask the name. Uber's car insurance company alleges that over 50 drivers and riders deliberately caused hit-and-run accidents or faked accidents altogether in South Carolina. These people are a part of an alleged insurance scam. The insurance company says that they filed a lawsuit against these people. It involves over 21 collisions reported to the company over the past 3 years. And many of these people are known to each other. They are, according to the lawsuit, they are neighbors and have personal relationships. That's blowing my mind that all these people even know each other. A spokesperson for the FBI said that the agency is aware of these allegations, but they've declined to say if the agency is investigating it, and none of the defendants have been charged with any crimes. I know we're always talking about features and new features, but this is one that you might want to pay attention to. Now, some Uber drivers are concerned about retaliation as Uber introduces a new feature allowing passengers to send anonymous reports during their rides. Now, Uber says this is a tool that's a part of a suite of safety measures to address safety concerns, which we all are concerned about, and that it's intended for non-emergency situations. But many drivers think that passengers will take advantage of this tool and try to obtain free rides or discounts and things like that, or just be vindictive to try to get a driver in trouble. Now, I was on Facebook today and I'm just reading story after story where people have been deactivated or have been warned over things that they don't have control of, reports that were never filed. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, as most of these reports are anonymous, but I'm just curious if the deactivation criteria will change. If you give people the opportunity to complain, they will complain. Will they be open to hearing the driver's side of the story? I will say this, Uber's head of safety had this to say: our research shows that riders may not consistently report experiences that make them feel uncomfortable or nervous, due in part to being distracted after a trip. And I see what they mean, and I can relate in saying where I've had weird rides. You just kind of get through it and you may not even follow up afterwards. And so I understand that maybe this tool might help or something, thwarting something that could happen. However, I really think that it will be abused by riders and that we're going to see a lot of flagrant complaints and issues along the way. Let me know what your thoughts are, because if you drive for Uber, this is something that you will have to encounter and address at some point. An NFL player asks a driver to take the fall and he's not having it, and I'm so happy about that. Thank the Lord. Now, former Cleveland Browns offensive lineman Greg Robinson was arrested by the DEA in El Paso, Texas, after agents discovered that he was carrying over 157 pounds of marijuana in his vehicle at a checkpoint. Also arrested and charged was a former player, Jaquan Tyreek Bray of the Indianapolis Colts. Robinson allegedly rented the vehicle in Los Angeles and arranged for an Uber driver to drive them to Louisiana. He met the guy in 2018 and didn't tell him what was going on. When the group approached the checkpoint in El Paso, Robinson asked the guy if he would take the fall for the marijuana and said that he would pay him later. Well, the guy responded, heck no. And he said that if he knew that they were transporting drugs, he would not have agreed to drive him. So there you have it. Uber drivers are doing good things out here. Both men are being held without bond. If convicted, they may face up to 20 years in prison. The driver was not arrested. And now for my favorite segment, what would you do? In this case, here's a classic scenario. Rider-driver dispute. Driver cancels mid-trip, tells the woman to get out, and the woman says that the area is not well-lit or safe.
I had to take an Uber home tonight because my car is in the shop. I'm the business owner. This gentleman stopped his Uber. I'm in the middle of Pinewood, Bethabara. He said he didn't like that I was being a backseat driver and telling him to which way to turn. Now he stopped the car in the middle of a street, blocking traffic. He just abruptly turned his car off and said the ride was over.
My car now.
You cannot drop me off in the middle of...
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
You
I didn't do anything to you.
Bet?
I didn't do anything to you.
Get out of my car. Your ride has ended.
You didn't drop me off at a public space. There's no sidewalks.
This is a public space.
This is not. Is there sidewalks here? There are not any sidewalks here, sir. This is not safe. This is a dark, busy street. Both of them.
Yeah, right where that street light is.
Do you see a sidewalk? Do you see a sidewalk? I'm clearly a woman in high heels with computer equipment.
You're the one who chose to wear high heels today.
I don't know how they got here, but use your imagination. Who's right? Who's wrong? One thing I noticed about her conversation is that she kept stating what was right, what was supposed to happen, what you're supposed to do.
You cannot drop me off in the middle of...
Yes, I can.
No, you can't. I didn't do anything to you.
I don't think that people realize that there really isn't a certain way to do anything. If they knew how little information we had, or the contradiction of information that we receive, then their heads would probably be spinning too. And I feel when riders protest, they're thinking about what should happen, and they're not aware that none of your shoulds matter here. Half of mine don't either. What would you do in this case? Although she seems ornery and they may have argued about something and who knows what it was, she seems genuinely concerned about her safety. Would you drop her off at a well-lit place somewhere where she did not have to walk in the street? I mean, no matter where you go, you got the heels on. The heels are on. I think I would opt to just drop her off in a place where that was well-lit so that nothing would happen to her and she could call another car. I wouldn't wait with her, but I would definitely, say, hey, I'll take you right there. That's where you're going to be. You have to get out the car and call. If not, we're going to the police station. Or something. I don't know. That might be kidnapping. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're not sure about who I am or what I do, my name is Cecily, and I have a channel called Drive Girl Drive. You can hit me up on YouTube or Facebook. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe. I provide the news. This week in Rideshare generally is pretty positive. This week was kind of a struggle. That is every Saturday at 5 a.m. Have a great weekend. Bye.